Hey, good morning again, church family. We're excited to continue through this journey together. This week saw us traversing through Genesis chapters 33 all the way to the end of the book through chapter 50. And we saw a really cool bookend moment as we continue this journey through this chosen family of God. So we started with the story of Jacob's confrontation with his older brother Esau. They're grown men now, they have large possessions, but Jacob, he is carrying that guilt, and he panics, and he's operating out of fear, afraid of what his brother will do to him. But Esau, the person who was wronged, is the one who offers forgiveness and restoration. It's a really, really cool picture there.
And then in chapter 50, which was today's last chapter to read, it shows how this week has ended with the same story. Joseph's confrontation with his brothers. Not just when they come to Egypt for food, but the final confrontation with his brothers after their father, Jacob, dies. When their father is gone, the brothers' guilt comes to the forefront of the story. And again, they panic and they operate out of fear. But Joseph, the person who was wronged in the story, offers forgiveness and restoration. And the way that we see this theme throughout all Scripture finds its culmination in the gospel itself. That we are the people who have wronged a holy God, have wronged one another, have wronged nature, and we don't deserve anything but to live in fear and panic. But God, in his son Jesus, offers forgiveness and restoration.
Yeah, it's really neat. We see always how the Old Testament is pointing us to Jesus. And we've mentioned in previous videos this theme that we're seeing of the firstborn and the secondborn. So this theme, again, keeps going through the story of Jacob's family. There's several examples. We're not going to mention all of them, so we encourage you, go find the ones that we missed and see what you can find of the firstborn and the secondborn examples. So we can see Rebekah convincing Jacob to steal Esau's blessing from Isaac. That's an example. He's the secondborn. He gets the blessing and the inheritance. We also see Joseph. He was the 11th born, but he was chosen to save his family, save all of Egypt, and his visions of his brothers bowing down to him came true. They had to submit to his leadership. And then as that story concludes, his father, Jacob, intentionally blesses Joseph's secondborn, Ephraim, instead of Manasseh. And when Joseph tries to correct him, Jacob says, "No, I know what I'm doing. I'm blessing the secondborn." So it's a really, really cool theme that's going to continue on. And where does this point us? We can look to Romans chapter 5. Paul there is explaining how Adam came as the first human, the first of creation. But what happened? He transgressed. And because of that transgression, we are all made sinners like him. And then he goes on to say, but Jesus comes as the second Adam, the one to do what the first one could not. So in that picture, Jesus again is the secondborn coming to make all right that went wrong in the fall. This is the sovereignty of God amidst human deception. Nothing that we can do is ever going to throw that plan off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of the Bible readers and thinkers that I like, the Bible Project guys and Bema and their podcast, one thing that they always say is to trust the story, to trust the text. And this week's reading really emphasizes that we typically in human eyes want to look at the firstborn, the handsome, the wealthy, the one that we would choose as part of God's fulfillment, but God always seems to have a different plan. And so we want to trust his plan, to trust his story, and know that it's always going to be permeated with his forgiveness and restoration. So keep reading. This next week, it'll be Exodus.
Yeah, coming up on some more good stuff. So hang in there. You're doing great. And we'll see you soon.